Hello all, welcome back to Learning Partner. If you are new, please do subscribe. This is another channel where you can directly connect with me. We have around 1,000 plus members already who are working. We take live coding sessions and everything. To just get notified about those sessions, please do join this group. Okay. So we are going to create a bus booking application. So I know like previously I have created two same projects like that, but some of you are not able to use it properly because when we implement an actual project, which is, let's say, you might have used Redbus or Abhi Bus, these have a proper business domain logic. So most of you are struggling over from and to, like you are not able to move ahead the search. So it's not. When I create the video, I have entered some data from the Swagger only. If you want to search from particular location to particular location, you have to create a bus schedule for that. It's not going to come automatically. You have to, by using Swagger, you have to create the bus schedule. Means from location and to location on this particular date, you need to create a bus. Then only it will come. So many of are confused with this also because this is a very real time application. Whenever we talk about real time application, it might have various scenarios. It's not a normal CRUD application that you will simply implement. Just like train booking also, it has also so many scenarios. First, you will create a train, then only it will come in the search. Users are trying directly searching and it's not coming. It won't come. You need to create some data for that. Then only it will come. So here I have just created one more UI. UI is very simple one. I have not used any what do we say, tricky part or any basic, just a basic what we should focus on that UI is there. And main part will be how you complete this project from scratch, from start to end, right? From searching, then showing the result, then seat selection and the booking. How do we do all that flow? We are going to see. Now, basically like what things you might have already used Redbus or a web bus. So what these platforms are, these are just booking platform. They don't run buses. They will provide you a platform where different vendor, let's say I belong to Maharashtra, so we have Khurana, Saini, VRL. These are the various bus vendors we have. So what they do, they register on the Red Bus or the Abhi Bus, right? Again, so many portal might be there, but these are I know. Now they register and then they create their bus schedules. Like from, let's say, Nagpur to Pune, how many bus they are traveling for the particular date. So they create a bus schedule. Then that data we get to know in the app, right? We search it in the app with from location and to location and the selecting bed. Whatever the bus vendor has created schedule on that particular location route on that particular date, those buses will only come. It's not like something automatically it is coming. Bus vendors are creating that schedule, then only it is coming over there. Just the same logic we have in our project also. So first we are going to search the bus, then obviously customer has to sign up and log in. Then we will be filtering bus selection, seat selection means what, let's say if we select particular bus, then we need to select that particular seat also, which seat you need. Then we can make the booking of the selected seat and I can see all the bookings. Okay. So this is like things we are going to cover. Now coming to the UI part. So this will be your first landing page. Here we will be having a drop down. Let's say Pune. Here it will be a drop down. Just this is the static UI. Let's say from Pune, I want to see for the Nagpur. Then you select the particular date of journey. Let's say tomorrow. On click of search, you currently this is static, so only one card is there. Just like that, multiple buses will come. Right there, you can see what's the price, what's the duration time, right? Everything, whatever you get from the API. Once you click on that particular bus, your bus selection window will come, means seat selection. From here, you will be able to select the selection and you need to provide the detail and you will confirm the booking. And one more page will be there where you can see all the bookings done by you. So this is the whole flow. Okay. Sorry. Just a minute. Now, this is the UI what we are going to use. Now coming to the API part. So freeprojectapi.com and you can go to the project API. The first project you will get bus booking API. So now here you can see some APIs are related to user. So this user API means nothing but for registration of the customer. Okay. Then so many APIs there because this application will have two part, website part and the admin part. Admin part is for the vendors, from where vendor will log in, they will create the bus schedule and everything. This is we in this video we are going to complete the front end part, means the website part only, which is for customer only. Right? So API, you might see so many API, but all those API, we are not going to use it over here. So after that, you get to see some vendor API, then bus location API. As you know, like location, from location to location, that data also we put. Then in Redbus, you might have seen once you select the particular city, now again in city, you get multiple addresses also, like from pickup point. So that also we have. Then search bus API. This is the API which we are going to use. From here, post bus schedule. From here, you are going to actually create the bus schedule, right? Then booking and everything is there. Get all bookings created by you and everything. Fine. So these are the various APIs which we are going to use. Now, coming back to the Angular part, let me just close this. So I have created a basic Angular project with Angular 19. After doing that Angular setup, I have installed Bootstrap and Font-Awesome because the template which I am using Bootstrap and the Font-Awesome. So you can see in package.json, I have added two entries, means I have installed the Bootstrap and the Font-Awesome. After that, in Angular.json, I have added the links of Bootstrap and Font-Awesome. This is how we use it, right? So let's close it. Now let's run the project. Terminal, ng serve. Let's run it. Why it is saying like this? Let me npm install one more time. Okay, till it done, right? So in app folder, I will create a folder that will pages. Inside this, I will be creating the component. Now, if you see the UI, how many components we are going to need? This is the first component. Let's say we will call it as the search page, right? Then once we filter something, then we go to the next page. Here we have to show, wait, why? Oh my God, we closed that other window. Let me just open the YouTube project template. Let me run it again. I forgot we were using it. It's not running. Yeah, now it started running. So this will be your home page from where you are going to search the result. Once you search, it will go to the next page where you are going to show all the buses traveling from this location to that location. So this we will call as search result. Then one more page we will be having, that is seat selection. And here only we will have the booking form also. So for now, and again, one my booking page will be there where we have to show the whatever the booking this particular logged in customer has done. And for book login and registration, we are going to use the model pop-up. So in the model pop-up, we are going to have, so currently it's not opening, I will do that. So I have the design ready. So for login and the registration, we will use the model pop-up. Fine. So let's create the component first till this npm install is going on. But why in the first place that issue came? Okay. Let me just zoom out. The project got corrupted or what? Okay, it's running. Let me try running the project first. NGS. Yeah, it's working properly. Localhost 4200. Yeah, so project is fine. Now, so as discussed, we first need to create the component. Fine. So right click, new terminal. So first we will be like app component, we are going to use just as a parent component. We are not going to put anything over there, right? So, but navbar we will put it over there because this is kind of a website application. So navbar we will put into our app component. But after that, we need a search page component. So ng generate component search. This is the first component where we are going to from location to location and the date. Second component, filter result or search result, we will go. Whenever your component name is a combination of two words, make sure second letter should be capital. So you get hyphen over there in the name. So here you can see we got search result. Then we got seat selection. So for seat selection, instead of seat selection, that page is nothing but to book the ticket. So book ticket. One more component for showing all the bookings done by the logged in customer. So my bookings, enter. Fine. So 4 component we have created. Once you create the component, next task will be you have to create the routes. So we have go to approute.ts. Here we have to create the routes. So as it's a website application, by default we need some page that's to be opened by default, right? So we have to create an default route. So default route will be empty path, then redirect to, just give it some time. It's still identifying like what this page is. So it's not suggesting. If I use control space, it's not suggesting. So it will take time just for the first time. Yeah, now it is coming. Redirect to, let's say, search page. And path my strategy, we have to go with full. So this is my default route. So if in the URL we don't have anything, it will redirect to the search page. So now we need a search page route. Path, search. Now on this, which component I need to open? So search component. Then path, second route. Search hyphen result component, search result component. Then one more for booking. Book, path, book hyphen ticket component. Which component you want to render? Book ticket component. And the last one for my booking. Let me just copy paste just to save the time. My booking component will be my booking component. Okay, so these are the routes we have. Now in app component, we are going to have the route navbar. So now I will just copy paste the UI what we have created. So in index page, I will copy this navbar. Navbar we are going to have in a single in our app component only. Not in every component we are going to have the navbar. So this navbar I have to put it over here. After that we need router outlet. That's the what do we say, directive which is responsible to render the activated component route. Fine. So router outlet. Fine. We have just created route, and in app component we have added a navbar and the router. So let's see. If I don't have anything, by default my search page is coming because that's the default page. Navbar is not coming because we didn't copy the CSS also. So these are the common CSS. So I will put this into my global.css, that is style.css over here. Now if I save, see, now you got the navbar. So you can see by default, if you don't have anything in the URL, still it is navigating the search page because that's what we said. So see, if we don't have anything in the URL, it should redirect to search page. Fine. Now, so our routing is done. Let's close this. Now search page, or before, yeah, let's do the search page. Then whenever we need the registration, then we will complete the registration. Because by default, without login also, user can search. But once he has to do the booking, then only that registration part will come. If you have visited Redbus or Abhi Bus also, you can search. But if you are not logged in, when you are trying to book, then it will ask you to log in, right? So like that same flow we will try to do over here. So this is our search page. So in search page, we have from, to, and date. Now, if you see the API, so in the UI, we have this as a text box, but it should be a dropdown because user cannot search anything. If you have used Redbus or Abhi also, list will come automatically. You cannot search any city. Na? If Redbus is not operating on that city, how you are able to search, right? So they are predefined cities only. So that should come from the API. So we have that API, get bus locations. So this is that API from where you will get all the location where this particular application is considering like Redbus, like operating. Redbus doesn't work on every small city, just the metro cities it is working, right? So let's try this API. So this is the URL and the response we get, see, some cities are there. Okay. Now this URL we need to integrate. Whatever the data we get from this URL, that we need to show over here in the dropdown, over here also and over here, same data, because from and to location will be same only, na? Correct? Now, so we are moving towards the API call. So on the search page, let's first copy the UI also. So index page. After that, this is that hero section where we have that search. Let me just get this search page. I will put that search page over here. Let's see. Yeah, so now you can see UI is there. Whatever the UI we had it over here, same UI we are able to see in our Angular application also. Now, on the page load, we need to call the API. Which API? This API. And whatever the data we get from this API, that we need to display in the dropdown. Instead of text box, we will have a dropdown over here and we need to bind it. Fine. So now we are moving towards the API part. How do we do the API call integration in Angular? This is a standalone application. So we have app config over here. So first thing we have to do in app config in provider section, you need to register provide HTTP client. Okay, then only you can make API call by using HTTP client library. So this is the first thing you need to do. Let's close it. Then you can write your API call code into your component also, but that is not advised. You should move your API call function or utility function into service. But for now, just we should be able to, I'm considering like everyone is fresher, some are experienced. So for search, we will do the API call right in the component only. After that, we will create the service. You should know, right? So many guys I have seen like they know how you create the API call into service, but sometimes they get confused. Like if I ask them like, can we create API call into component? They say no. It's not like that. You can write your API call code into your component also. But it's like how you have learned. You might have start from the first from wherever you have learned. You might know that API call we put into service. So that's the only thing you know, right? So in the component also we write the API call. Now, so API call we are going to write. So for API call we have to make use of the HTTP service. So HTTP. Now I will try to make use of the new things only, whatever we have got. So from Angular 16, we have got inject. Like previously, we used to do the constructor injection, but now we have got inject. So that we will use HTTP inject. What we are going to inject? HTTP client service. Fine. Now, on the page load, we are going to make that API call. So in Angular component, we have lifecycle event that is ng on init. So implement on init. Once you implement this on init, next thing you have to write ng on init. Okay. For API call, we will create a separate function get all locations. Now from this function, we are going to actually make the API call. So this dot http dot get. Okay. Now here you need to pass the URL. See what get method needs? URL. Let's copy the URL. So this is my URL. Let's copy. Let's paste it over here. This is going to trigger an API call. Whatever the API call data is going to return, array. See what data we are going to get? Array. So that data you need to hold it into an array also. So we can subscribe to it. It's like catching the data, whatever that API call has written. Result colon any. I'm going with any for now. In next component, we will create class and interface. So any is a dynamic data type we have in Angular. If you don't know what type of data you are going to get, right? So you can use any dynamic data type. Fine. Now you have to create an array. Let's say location list. You are going to get array of objects. So any of array I'm creating. Okay. For now, I'm going with any. Next component, I will be creating class or interface. Fine. Now, so here, this dot location list is equal to res. Whatever the response we get from this API, whole response we are storing into our array. And this function we need to call on the page load. So in ng on init, we will call it just like how constructor get executed by default now, just like that ng on it will get executed by default because we have implemented. Let's add a debugger for the first time. If you are new or even experienced person, make sure you add a debugger everywhere, whatever possible. Make sure how code flow is going, what data you are getting, what you are doing with data, everything. Fine. Let's save. Let's open the developer mode. Let's reload one more time. why we are getting debugger in the HTML. Yeah. So see, in search component, first debugger we have got in ng on it. So this function got automatically invoked. Okay. After that, here we are calling up API call to the if we are invoking another function. So it will go over there. See, now here actually we are making the API call. And once we receive the data, then this debugger will execute. Continue. Yeah. So see in the result, we got around 12 locations. See, Nagpur, Bangalore, what is it? Palakkad, I don't know. Tamil Nadu, Chennai, right? So some data all users have added so that we are able to see. Now, if you see, currently this variable is empty. Once we assign it, whatever the data we got, that we assign it to our variable. See, now in our variable, we got the cities array so that you can use it over here to bind dynamically. Means dynamically option we need to create. Now go to the HTML. Here we had this text box. Now instead of text box, now we will use select drop down OPT. Now from Angular 17, you got at the rate for loop. It's just like how you know for loop in the normal programming, just like that you can write the for loop in the HTML template also, right? So we need to iterate option. Dynamically, we have to create the option. How many location we get, that many time our option should be get created. So at the rate for, now what on what element you will iterate? Location list. Here you got the array of object. So over here. Okay. Now this option will go over here. It's like for loop. If it is for loop, it is iterating. So that much time your option will be get created. Now here on the value, you need to bind item dot location ID. See the response, what response you are getting. Location ID. So location ID, you need to bind it over here. And while displaying, you need to display the location name. Just a minute. Okay. Now here we will show the location name. So item dot location name. So this location name we will showcase over here. Same for loop, we have to put it over here also. Same data we have to showcase. Wait. Sorry. Whole thing, no? Select. And last we need to add that is form. Select. Save and check. So see, data is coming. Whatever the data we got from the API, that data is available over here from location and to location. Okay. So what we did on the page load, we made this API call, whatever the location we got, that we have binded it over here. We just need one placeholder also instead of directly currently first element is getting auto selected. Na? So instead of we will have a static option, value will be empty. Select from location, just like that over here to location. Okay, so by default that placeholder will be selected. Clear? Now, first part is done. We have displayed the location. Now, search. Now, this is a form. Now, next part is on click of search. We are going to integrate another API to search the bus traveling from this location to that location for that particular date. So we have search API. So this is that API. Here you need to pass from location ID to location ID and the travel date. But before that, I will explain how do you create the bus schedule first. Okay. Now, let me get the data. So this is the bus location API. Okay. Now, if you see, we have Chennai and Coimbatore. I'm just copy pasting this data. So this is two location, that is Chennai and the Coimbatore. Chennai has 140 ID and Coimbatore has 141 ID. I need vendor data also. So get bus vendor. Whatever I'm doing now, you have to do the same thing. Okay. So see, I have these two vendor, Rishabh Jain and Saini, or let's say VRL, the famous one we will use so that it will look like these are the travels. These are two travel vendors data. It's actually travels provider. These are the travel companies. Now let's consider vendor got registered to our portal. Now he will create the bus schedule. Okay. So we have API that is post bus schedule. This, okay. Now, here you can see what data we need. Schedule ID is use the primary key. So you have to send it 0. Vendor ID. So let's say VRL 86. So this vendor ID will go over here. Bus name, what was that? Let's say we have to give some unique name. Chennai to Coimbatore. Chennai hyphen, just some unique bus name I'm giving. You might have also seen some bus name we get and Coimbatore. Okay. Bus vehicle number. We have to provide a bus number also. Let's say MH332232. Something unique I'm giving. From location. So here you need to provide the ID of the location, not the location name. ID. So that's why I copied these two things. So let's say it is traveling from 140, that is Chennai, to Coimbatore, that is 141. If you enter the proper data over here, then only it will work. Departure time, let's say it is for tomorrow's 15th. Arrival time also 15. Okay. Schedule date also 15. Price, let's say 700. Okay. Total seats we have in that particular bus, let's say 30. Okay. Let's test it. Oh my God. Invalid JSON. Why to sing invalid JSON? Let me test it. In Swagger, it is working, but here I have integrated the Swagger thing over here, so it might be breaking. Let me check. Wait, why API is not getting triggered? Cannot read properties of null. Just a minute. So sorry for this. Let me refresh it and one more time. Hard reload. Post bus schedule. Let me check network call also. Why here only it is saying invalid API call is also not there. It is breaking over here. Contact form. Invalid JSON. Okay, so for now I will run the project locally, but by the time you see the video, it will be fixed. For now, I will run the project locally. Same project we are going to run the locally. So this is the .NET project. Let's run it. Okay, so just ignore this part. I don't know like how I didn't tested those API over there. On Swagger, I tested it, but on that platform, I didn't tested it. Somewhere JavaScript code might be wrong. I will fix that later. Let this API project run. Okay. Wait. Okay, so I think from location you can see comma is missing. So that might be the reason. Let me test it one more time. Yeah, it is working. So see in the API call was success. Thank you, Sagar. So you can see schedule got created. Now we have created a bus which is traveling from 140 to 141 on 15. Now if we have to search this data, let's create one more record. Okay, so that we will have proper data. Now vendor ID, we will use the second one. 85 we have used, no? 85 we will use. And let's say this is for 5 p.m. Something. Bus number I'm changing it to 5533. Same route from location and to location. This is for from different vendor. Different vendor is offering the ticket from 650. And around 20 seats are there. A small bus is there. Test endpoint. API call is success. So from Chennai to Coimbatore, we have two buses running on the 15th. One is having 750 and one is having 650 rate. Now let's test it. So from location, search bus, we need to check. 140, 141. Here we don't have date. Let me get the date format properly. Otherwise, we won't be able to search. Let's try this. Search. See, we are able to get two records. Chennai Coimbatore 5 p.m., which is having rate 650, which we recently created, and before that, one from the VRL. Got it? But why vendor name and this is not coming? Location name. Something again wrong is there. Location name, vendor name. This data is not coming. Vendor ID also not coming. Let me quickly check the API. Search API. Search bus. Okay, I commented it. Why? I don't know. Search bus 2. I think this is the new API. So here you can see we have two search API. Just a minute. Oh. No, something might not be working. Might have created this another API. Let's try the same data with the new API, this search bus 2. So 141, what was it? 140 to 141. 141 date test endpoint. Okay, so here you can see properly data is coming. So don't use that. Use the second one, or I will remove that also. So see vendor name. What is the travel's name? Everything. Okay. VRL travel, bus name, everything is coming. So this is how you create the bus schedule. Then only that data will come over there in the search page. So follow the same thing what I have done. Okay. And what did we do? And let's do the vice versa. Let's insert one more data, vice versa. Post schedule, return ticket kind of thing we can say. Now instead of one from location 140 and to location 141. And let's say in return it is 800. 36 test endpoint. Okay, now we just need to check the vice versa. I will just change 41 over here. Currently, we have just created one travels for the return. So see, only one data is there from the signee. Okay. Now search API is properly working. Now this API, whatever the search URL you can see, however URL is from location to location and the to date. So this is the search parameter. This should be your search URL. This we need to integrate on click of search. So on click of search, whatever the location you select, that ID and the date, whatever you select, we need to pass along with this API. So now this is the second API call we are going to make. Okay. Let's go to our Angular code now. Now, here one more page, search bus. This dot http dot get API call. How do you know get API call? From here only. See get API. Okay. Let me just stop the API project. We don't need it. Let me close it also. Okay. Now this is our URL. This is the actual static URL which we copied. But here, this location ID and this location ID, we have to make it dynamics. Means whatever user select, that should go, right? So now here comes the form. Okay, because we have three field from, to, and date. So we can create three variable also, and that variable we can bind it to the respective text box also. But instead of creating three variable, we can create an object, and that object we will bind to our form. So in Angular, we have two types of form, template and the reactive. I will go with the template. Fine. Now, so we have to create an object. Let's see what things we have from location to location and the date. So let's create it. Let's say search obj colon. Again, I'm saying I'm going with any. Next component, I will create class or interface. Okay. Search obj, or let's create it now. Now, in pages, in app folder, I will create one more folder that we will say models. instead of going with any, we can create class or interface of it. Okay. So what I will do, I will create a class. So let's say model.ts, a simple TS file I'm creating. Now inside this model.ts, I will create a class. Export class search. Now how many things? From location ID, data type will be number, to location ID. Again, data type will be number and date. Here I'm going with string only because we don't need to pass that whole date. Now we have created a class. Inside that we have created some variables. So by default, they are saying like it is not initialized. So it's a class. So we have access to the constructor. And in constructor, we will just initialize all this field. Location ID, I will initialize with 0. Or if you say 0 now again, it won't select. So because value we have set it as by default empty. So instead of number, let's go with string only. Okay. And here we will set it as empty. This dot to location ID is equal to empty. And this dot date is equal to empty. Fine. So I have created my class. Now here, instead of going any, I can provide the data type like this. Let's add the import. See here, once I click on it, import has been automatically added. Now it's a class, so we can make use of new operator to create an instance of it like this. Okay. Now we have created object and we have provided a data type of that class also. Now this object, I can bind it to my form. So this is the first element. So here, square bracket, round bracket, ng model equal to. Now it's not recognizing ng model. Why? Because if you have to use ng model, we have to import forms model. Forms model. Okay. Now our search object, search bus dot, what's the object? Search object. Dot. Here we are going to bind from location ID. Let's copy paste. Second, here we have to bind to location ID. Third, date of journey is there. So input type date. Here we have to bind date. Fine. But all the we are using ng model inside a form tag. Okay, let me remove this. We don't need this. So we will get one error. See, we are getting an error. If ng model is within a form tag, name attribute is mandatory. So if you are using ng model inside a form tag, the name attribute should be set, or else you will get the error. Or you can remove the form tag also, whatever you feel. Let's copy paste the same thing. So you might have heard vibe coding. So vibe coding is like without having knowledge, you can by using the ChatGPT or Copilot or Cursor, you can complete the whole project. But consider like if you don't know anything, yeah, by using common sense, you might be intelligent, you will be doing it. But let's say if you need to have some changes, some business logic is there that you need to change, or some validation, dynamic validation, something you need to change, which you cannot explain it to AI tool. How you will do it? So it's very obvious thing. I don't know like that term is real, companies is going to use complete project like that, but it's just some influencer are also there, which create some term like that, right? So we don't have to worry that much. Whatever the AI tools might be there, developers will be needed. Yeah, obviously count will be minimized because with the help of AI tool, we can complete our work very fast, right? So let's say previously we used to have 5 developer. Now that developer count might be reduced to 3, but developer are going to be needed. So be skillful, have business logic with yourself, right? Work complete as many as project you can complete, various types of, not with related to, you have done e-commerce, then bus booking, some ERP application, some employee management, HR payroll, right? Some different domain you can create, so that you will have business logic. Like what is business logic? What, various applications are there, what are the business rules, how other applications behave from another application, right? So that business logic you can develop. Fine. So we created object, that object we binded to our form. Now on click of search, we need to call our API. So instead of button submit, we will go with our button. Here, click event. We already created one API call function, that is search bus. So this we will call it over here as a function. Now, so if you see here, this was static, this was static. So now we need to make it dynamic. So what you have created object, then that object you have binded over here. So here we need to pass the from location ID. So instead of this, we will make it double quote, sorry, double quotes, and then double plus. So concatenation. So here this dot search object dot from location ID. So instead of that static thing, you are making it dynamic now. Here to location ID. Sorry, the URL is wrong. To location ID. Instead of writing this now, we should have put it into the service, but let's cover the first thing in the component. Then we will move our API call into our services. And here it will be date. Okay. Now, once the API call is success, then we need to subscribe result colon any. This API call is not going to be over here. We are going to move it to the next page. But for now, I'm just letting you understand this. Let's add a debugger. We are not going to store the data. I just wanted to show you that whatever we tested on the Swagger, same thing I wanted to show it over here. Let's test it and let's check it now. So we created data from Chennai to Coimbatore for tomorrow's. Once I click on search in network, you will be able to see one API call. See, API call is there and we got 2 records. Okay, we didn't enable the debugger. That's why the debugger didn't execute. I have enabled the debugger. So see over here, result, you got 2 responses. So whatever the data we were able to see in the Swagger, same data you can see it over here. Okay, now we just need to do the vice versa. So Coimbatore to Chennai. And it's the same date. We just had one date, one travels. So in the result, we just got one element. So this is how search work. Okay. But why I'm saying like we are not going to hold this data over here? Because if you see the UI, once I search, immediately I'm going to the next page. Okay. So here we should show this data. So that API call, we will make it over here. Instead of doing that make API call over here, here we have to make it because here we are going to show the what do we say, data available on that particular duration. So on click of search, we are not going to do the API call. We are just going to redirect to the different page. And that too with the query parameter, means what date, what from location to location and the date. So now we are going to create a route with parameter. Fine. Let's go over here. Again, I'm saying like if you are very fresher now, this will be very hard for you to understand because it's a very real and the working project, just like Redbus. See, same thing what we are doing now, it is there in Redbus or Abhi Bus, but it is in the larger. But basic logic is this only. Okay. So obviously it will have so many scenarios, so many advanced things we have to know. Now, while we created route, this search result page was a normal page. But now here we need to add the query parameter because when we are going to navigate over here, we are going to navigate with from location to location and the date. Because in this page, we have to show the travels, whatever traveling from that location to that location. So here, colon, every time I forget like question mark, then colon, from ID, then again to ID, this is query parameter, okay? I'm not sure like slash we need or colon we need, but let's see, and date. So see, now this is our normal route, but with a parameter. This is our normal route without any parameter. This is our parameterized route. While navigating to this route, you have to pass from ID to ID and to date also. Okay. Now, So in your search page, currently on the click of search, we did the API call integration, but this is not going to be needed. Let's comment it. Now on click of search, you need to navigate to your search page, different page. So now from .ts, you have to navigate. So here you will need another service, that is router. If you have to navigate from .ts, you cannot use that router not navigate or router link also. So here you have to use router.navigate method, which comes from the router service. Router. I'm going step by step, but again, if you know the basic, then only you will be able to understand it. So this dot router dot navigate by URL. Wait. Something is wrong. Router. Correct only, no? Sorry, capital inject, I have used inject. Okay, so now it will see navigate by URL. Where we have to navigate? Now we have to navigate with URL query parameter. So instead of navigate by URL, I can use just navigate method. And here navigate method needs an array. First will be your URL. So our URL is search result. And then you can pass the array of parameter. Then first parameter will be this dot search object dot from location. Then this dot search object dot to location. And third parameter will be this dot search object dot date. Let's see if we are able to navigate or not. So if I select Chennai, Coimbatore, and the date tomorrow's. If everything is fine, we should be able to navigate with the query parameter over here. No, we got error. Cannot match any route. Okay, let's see. I told you, like I might be confused. Let's try colon first, then slash, colon, this slash. It's like we don't use every day, so sometimes we forget. Let's try. Still, we are not able to navigate. What should be the route? Let me check any existing project. Which UI? Let me find it. So see, this is the project with older version. So here, app routing was a module 5. Okay. Slash colon ID only, na, like this only. What we did. Slash colon from again slash colon to date. Let's try. Why we are getting like this search result? 137, 147. Why it is saying cannot match any route? Everything seems correct. Search result. Navigate method we are using. First parameter, second parameter, third parameter. Why it is not able to find the route? We saved it also. Let's try navigate by URL. No, but this also should work. This dot router dot navigate by URL. Search result. Now here we need to create that whole path. Question mark ID. Sorry, our route name is from is equal to like this. Let's just start. Try with one route, one parameter, then we will see the remaining. Let's try with one parameter, okay? With one parameter also. Oh, wait. Why it is having. Let's comment this. With one parameter also, it is not able to navigate. How come it is not able to find search result? Hmm. Search result. Same only, no? Slash or form. Let's try manually. Slash one two. Okay. So like this, we are able to hit. Let's try instead of question mark. We don't need this question mark. We don't need this also. Let's try. Now we should be able to hit. Yeah. Okay. Let's try the remaining. So this is from location slash then to location. We just need to create the string like that. Now it's to location again plus slash then last date. Let's try if we are able to navigate now. Chennai, Coimbatore, date tomorrow's. Again, we got the error. Oh, it is getting error. Oh, now in app route also we need to control Z. Let's see. Chennai, Coimbatore, date. Still we are getting error. 140, 141. Why it is not able to navigate with multiple? We need like this. Let me do the chat GPT instead of wasting time. So what we will say, Angular create route with multiple parameter. See, this is how you should use it. Whenever you are stuck, you aren't able to think, you are not able to, you are facing some issue or something with each version, we have something new things, right? So there you might get stuck. So there you should use ChatGPT or any GitHub Copilot also. Create on multiple parameter. Let's see. Same thing, no? What we did over here, product colon slash ID again colon slash over this again colon slash. So we have three parameters. Your route name after that colon, your parameter name after that colon, like that you can add multiple. Okay. Then how it has navigated like this. So slash we didn't add. Let's say slash would not be the case. The first one only. Let's add a slash and let's try. Okay, so slash was missing only. So see, our whole code was correct. Double slash, not single slash only. Now let's try it one more time. Only slash was missing. Yeah, now it is working. Okay. So nothing, we don't have to use router link or means other way also. Same router.navigate method was working. This also should work the same. Now this API call, what we did over here, instead of doing that, we have to move this API call into our another component. But while navigating, we are navigating with the location. So Chennai to Coimbatore and the date was 15. So see 141, 141 and the date. Now here on the page load, you need to read the ID, these IDs and the date. Then you will make the API call. So like the next topic is like how we read the query parameter data. Okay. So in Angular, we can read the query parameter data by using router.params. Okay. So in search result, we have to inject one more service. Activated route is equal to inject activated route. Then let's write the constructor, and in constructor this dot activated route dot params, we will subscribe to it. Means whatever the route, whatever the parameter we have in the URL, to catch that we have to subscribe. Result colon any. Let's add a debugger and let me show you what type of data you get it in the result. Let's open it, enable the debugger. Let's reload. So see, in the result, from, to, and the date, whatever the parameter name you have provided in your route file, that name you get. From is 140, to is 140, and date also you got. Okay. Now this data you can store into your object. Again, in the search, we already created that object. So this you do this again, you will need it over here also. Okay. So I'm just copy pasting. Let's add the import of our class. Now here, this dot search object dot from location ID is equal to res dot from, because in the result you were getting from, to, and date. Again, same thing. Let me just copy paste. To location ID, here it was to date, and here also same thing, date was there. Let's check it. So see. So now, let's reload one more time. So see, in search object, you are able to get the data. Once this line run, see, whole data, whatever the URL data we have, that we have got it in the object. Now you can do that API call. Okay. Now, previously when we tried, we did that API call into component itself. But now we are moving ahead. So let's make things advanced a little bit. Now we will create a service. So now in app folder, we have to create a service. So let's create a folder service. And inside this service, we have to create our first service. Just like how you create component, how you create everything, we have a command for that. ng generate service. Let's say search service. Okay, so service got created. Now in service, you get service like this. Now from here, we are going to make the API call. So to make the API call, first thing is like HTTP client we need to inject. So we got the constructor. So let's import it. Previously, before 16, we used to use like this, HTTP colon HTTP client. Sorry, HTTP client. Just how we do with inject, what we have done over here. Same thing we used to do previously by using constructor. So this is what we call dependency injection, means registering whatever the dependent object you are going to need in your particular service. Fine. Now, here we are going to move that our API call. So this API call function, instead of writing it over here, we will move it over here. Let's say search bus. Now this function you are going to call from your component. So while calling this function, you are going to pass your from location, to location, and the date. So we will have three parameters over here: from ID, to ID, and date. Let's add the data type also, string. Okay. Now here, whatever the response you get, that you are going to return. So return this dot HTTP dot get API call. Now we can copy the URL. So this was our URL. Let's copy. It will go over here. Now, instead of, we don't have search object over here, but we are going to get from ID. So from ID will go over here, then to ID, and then date. Okay. So this is your API call. Fine. Now, in your search result component, once you got the data, then again here also you need the function. What do we say? Get search result. Now, here we are going to inject our search service because once the page load, we have to make the API call. That API call, we have put it into our service. So this service you need to inject into our search result component. So now search service. Inject. What we are going to inject? Search service. Okay. Now here, this dot search service, currently in the search service, we just have one function. How many parameter it need? From ID, to ID, and this. So this dot search object dot from location ID, this dot search object dot to location ID, and the date. So this dot search object dot date. So this function needed 3 parameters. So 3 parameter we have sent. Then subscribe. Okay. Now here we are going to store the data. So let's say, now let's see what type of data we are going to get. See, we are going to get the data of type this. So instead of creating class, now I'm going to explain interface. So for creating interface also, I'm going to use online converter, convert JSON to TS. I will explain it, but instead of writing, I will be using this compiler to convert it. Now again, I will put it that interface over into our file. So export interface, then your interface name. Whenever you create interface while working in actual project, we start to write it with I. Search bus. Okay. Now see, this was your class. This was your interface. So 2 types of data, just to strongly type your variable, 2 things you can create. Either you can create a class or you can create an interface. So interface doesn't have a constructor, only class will have. So here you have the properties like this. Now, so this is the data type. So this you will go and over here, search data, colon, array of this model you are going to get. Let's add the import also of this interface. Now the data, you will store it over here. So this dot search data is equal to res. Fine. So whatever the API call data will return, that you are going to store it over here. Let's just test it till now. Then we will do the mapping of the UI. Save. But again, API call is not happening. See why? Because we created this function, but this function we didn't call anywhere. So once we read the query parameter data, after that we can call it. So this function, we will call it over here. So that once we read the query parameter data, then we are triggering, because that's what we are going to need it over here. See, now data is there and we got the data. Oh, debugger is on. Let's reload one more time. Let's reload. Continue. So data is getting readed, and then once we get the data, see, search data, 2 travels are available. So that data we need to populate over here. Now let's copy the UI. So that will in the search result. Where is that? Available buses. Let's copy the whole. Now this HTML code, we have to put it into our search result. So this is static data. Now we just need to make this dynamic, right? So now, is that? Yeah. So this whole column we need to iterate. So at the rate for loop, on which element you are going to iterate? Search data. So this I will put it over here. Now these are all static thing. Instead of it, let's make it dynamic. So this is your bus name. So item dot bus name. Then sleeper or AC, I don't have it, but let it be static only. Rating also I don't have it. This also I don't have it. This is just a UI copy paste created. So these two things I don't have it. So let's keep it as static. Then departure time we have. So departure item dot departure time. Now in departure time, we get everything, date and time. So we will use, or let's see what data we get. Instead of assuming, departure time. Yeah, see, we got date also and the time also. So now instead of showing the whole thing, we will use our date pipe to show just the date. Or let me just show that, then we will add the date pipe. Departure time. Then duration, are we getting duration? Duration, I think we are not getting. We have to again write the logic to calculate from and that. Let it be. So for now, let's keep it as constant only. Then arrival time. Arrival time. Then price. This will also dynamic. Price we are getting. That's it. Let's save and check. Sorry. So see, from API call, we are getting two travels, so that are available over here. Let's go back to again search page and let's filter it out again. So if I select Coimbatore and then Chennai, vice versa for tomorrow, only one travel we should get. See, price what is 100. So see over here, departure time. We are getting everything, but here we just need to show the time. So for that, we can use the date pipe. So slash date. Okay, so it won't suggest, as I said, from 17 plus in standalone, whatever you want to use, you need to import it first. We are going to use date pipe. So let's import date pipe. Then we can use the date pipe. See, now it is coming. Now we have to provide the time. So HH colon MM SS. Let's try. I don't remember the exact format, but let's try. This should work. Yeah. So see, now it is showing only date. From API, we are getting the date and the time and everything, but we are showing the date only. Again, we can show that PM and AM, I think that also, I think, but I don't know the format. What do we do? So see, two part we have done. Searching and we are showing the available buses coming over here. Okay. So now this still we have done. We were able to search it. After searching, we are showing whatever the buses available on that particular route. Now, once I click on this, I have to navigate. Let's see the UI. This is the static UI. So from here, once I click on any bus, I should be able to navigate to this page. And here we will be able to see whatever the seat number. Let's say here from the API, you see one more API is there. So this is the API to search the buses traveling from that particular location to that. So in that API, we get schedule ID. So if we open this particular bus schedule, so here you can see we get total number of seats. Means when we create a schedule, we have to provide how many seats are there in that particular bus. Okay, so that seat we get. So whatever the seat we get, that we have to dynamically create over here like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say if we have 20, so it should be over here. If we have 30 like that. So this seat number also dynamic. Okay. Then here we will have our booking form. So first, on click of this, we have to navigate to that page and we have to open the particular details. Now, so just like we have done on the search page, we navigated with the 3 parameter, but now on click of it, we just need to navigate with the seat selection page with just 1 parameter, that is schedule ID. Fine. So let me just close all. We don't need everything to be open. Now on click of this, we have to navigate to our search page. So let's right click event, navigate to booking. Seat selection means nothing but booking page. And while navigating, we have to pass the schedule ID. So item dot schedule ID we will pass as a parameter. Let's create this function. Now instead of while in the search page, what we did from .ts we have navigated. So it's not guaranteed that way. It's not always you have to go with the .ts. Means from HTML also we can navigate. Either you will create a function or you will use router link. But again, if you have to use router link, you need to import. So let's import the router link. From HTML also you can navigate with parameter. So router link is equal to from on where we have to navigate. Now we will have to convert our parameter, means this book ticket with parameter schedule ID. Okay, so now this is again our route not a normal route. This is our parameterized route. So now when we navigate, we have to navigate, use this slash. After that, we have to provide our schedule ID. That will be our dynamic. So for that, let's wrap it up in single quotes and then plus will work or not. Let's make it property binding because we have to concatenate the values now. Item dot schedule ID. Okay, let's see. So same thing. What did we do in the search component? Now from HTML from .ts we navigated with the particular URL with some parameters. So same thing we are trying over here. But instead of creating a function, but directly on click of it, we are navigating to this route with the schedule ID. Let's see. So currently we are over here. Once I click, I'm opening console just to check the if we have any error. Yeah, we got an error. What it is saying? Okay, so see, what do we miss? We miss the slash. See, after we need the slash. So after this also slash should be there. Now let's try. If I click, see, we are able to navigate with the specific ID, whatever the schedule ID we have, I mean, which bus I have opened. Okay. Now here we need the UI. So let's get the UI of seat selection. So this is my whole UI. I don't know, like this is whole thing is dynamic or what, but let's see. This is model. Let's copy this, paste it into our seat selection component. Sorry, book ticket component. So UI is coming like this. Now here on the page load, we need to call the API. We have the schedule ID over here. So we need the particular information of the bus we selected, right? So for that, we have this API. Get bus schedule by ID. So this API we need to integrate. Okay. So we created our services. So now instead of writing API call into our component, we will use the service only. So here get bus schedule by ID. This will have a parameter schedule ID. Data type will be number. Return this dot http dot. Oh, we have a spelling mistake. HTTP. Let me just clear it properly. Dot again get method. Okay. Now see, one more quick topic is there. So if you see the URL, this part is getting repeated. Instead of getting repeated, we can move this into a variable so that we don't have long function name. So over here in the service also, you can create a variable service. Like, again, I said, coming back to the first point, most of the people think like service again API call. No, we can create normal variable also. If you want to share a data across multiple component, you can use service also for that. Okay, so let's create variable API URL, data type string, your value. So we put common API part over here. Fine. Now here, instead of writing like this, here you will just use the variable. So this dot API URL plus, what do we call this? Concatenation. Another proper way is from ES6 feature, that is template literal. So that will be like, instead of using double quote, we will use that comma. Now here template literal, dollar symbol, curly bracket, this dot API URL, and then this method name URL static part will go over here. And here also we are going to get the schedule ID. So instead of this, again, dollar curly braces, your query. So this is we have concatenated or joined the variables, the variable value and the static string by using in concatenation. This is by using template literal. So this is way more easy, and for developer point of view, it is very easy for managing our value multi-line concatenation like that. This is very easy. Okay, so because see here, double quote, single quote, double quote, single quote. If you miss anything, it will give you error. This looks very easy. Wherever you have to bind the value, you use dollar symbol and the curly braces. Fine. Now, so this function you need to call on the book ticket component on the page load. So see, why page load? Because when you are navigating, you got the ID. So first, again, you will read the ID, then you will trigger the API call. So just like how we have done in the search component, same thing we have to do. So what service was there? Activated route. Activated route is equal to inject activated route. Sorry, activated route. Then in constructor, we will subscribe to the params. This dot activated route dot params dot subscribe from bracket result colon any. Currently, we are just going to get one ID, one parameter only. So here is one intro question like they will ask you like if my route has a multiple parameter, what type of data I get in the when I subscribe to the params. Even if it is multiple parameter or a single parameter, in subscribe you will get object only. Here you will get object type of data only with whatever the key name, mean parameter name you have given, key value, pair data. Fine. Now we will get ID over here constant. Let's say schedule ID is equal to res dot whatever the parameter name you have given. So this you need to copy, paste it over here. Let's add a debugger and let me show you. So it doesn't matter if it's a multiple parameter or single, you will get it in the object form only. Let's reload. So see, you got object and whatever your key name, route parameter name, that you will get it. Okay. Now, so this is the function what we need to do. So now here after constructor, I'm creating one more function, get bus details. Now here we will have a parameter schedule ID. And this we will get it over here. This function we are going to call once we read the schedule ID. This dot over here, and we need to pass the schedule ID, whatever we get. Now here, this dot, oh, so now our API call is in our service. So again, we need to inject our service also. So let's say search service is equal to again inject what we need to inject. So search service. Okay. Now here, this dot search service dot, now we have one variable and two function. This is the function what we are going to use. You need to pass a parameter. So this schedule ID, whatever you are going to get from the route dot subscribe from bracket result colon a. Now what type of data you are going to get? Single instance of particular, what do we say, schedule model. So this is your model. So let's copy and let's create an interface of it. So see, whenever you are working in Angular, either you are a fresher or experienced, we should have never go for anywhere. We should not use any at all time. Yeah, if your API call is sometimes returning array, sometimes object, sometimes anything it can return, dynamic data, then only you have to go for any. Apart from that, you should not use any. And if you are appearing for machine test, there you should not use any at all time. Okay. So this type of data we are going to get. So let's create an interface of it. ch schedule data. Okay. So see here and here we have some different team from location name to location name. This was the interface we created for holding the list of the buses. But here you can see we don't have it. We will have from location and to location, not the name. We will getting the ID. So SCH. So this interface, we will use it over here. What type of data we are going to get? This type of. So we will add the response type over here also. And then we will create one variable, schedule data. Data type will be this. Since it's a interface, so we don't have to initialize it. Let's add a not symbol over here. So we don't have to initialize all the properties. Fine. Now it is showing us error because this function, we didn't specify like what data we are returning. Here we are saying like what type of data we are supposed to get, but return time, while returning data from this function, we didn't specify. So let's specify over here. If you hover the mouse on this function, what type of data it is returning? Observable. So that's why I'm writing observable over here. Again, observable, but what model? Schedule data. Let's add it over here. Now after get also, you need to provide the data type like this. Now your function is look proper. So when you create API call function into your service, this should be your function look like. You should have a proper return type. What data, what type of data you are returning? Is it a single instance? Is it an array? Right? So this is your actual API call function should look like. Now you are not getting error. Now this dot, where it is schedule data is equal to res. Fine. Now in this variable, we are going to get all the bus data. So let's print it also in the UI. So this is your bus name dot bus name. We will show it over here. Here we have to show that what do we say? Departure date and the arrival date. Schedule data dot departure date. Now here we just need to show the date and the time also. So departure time with pipe date. So let's add the date pipe also. Date pipe date. Let's pass the format dd -mmm -yy. And after that, hyphen, and then we need arrival time also. Arrival time, same thing. Here we need to show, again, we need to use the same thing because in this only we are going to get the time. So over here, we just need to, from the whole date, we just need to extract the time. So HH, MM, SS. Same thing over here also, arrival time and this format. In actual application, we will have this something else, but I'm using the same field for both of them. From location and to location. Oh, now here in the object, we are not in the API, we are not getting the, what do we say? We just have this IDs. We are not getting the text. So what we can do here, instead of showing the text, we can have a drop down, or let it be like that for now. We will show again, like it will get complicated. So for now, let's show the bus name only over again. Duration, as I said, like we have to write a function again to calculate, extract the time and manage that. So that I'm skipping for now. Now, so here, let's just save and check first if we are able to read the data. Whatever the bus we select, that is coming or not. Why it is saying exported? Value is not there. Something is wrong. Let me save it again. Now we got the proper data. So see, let's go back. Let's go back to the start page. We have two records from Chennai to Coimbatore for tomorrow. So see the API call. So on the page load, we just have one API call, that is to get all the bus location. On click of search, we are navigating. Then we have second API call from the second component. We got two buses. So in first bus, here number of seats are not coming anyway. So this is the first bus. If I click on it, see ID 1774. So see Chennai to Coimbatore 5 p.m. Date is also in and the time is also there. Fine. Now this should be dynamic. So currently this might be static. This we have to make it dynamic. So if you check the API response, this one, we got total seats. So what are the total seats you have? Currently you have number. Now I said I need to iterate, but in Angular we cannot iterate on the number. We cannot iterate on the number. Na? So we have to create an array of it. Let's say just a number of array, then we will iterate on that. Because if you have a number, you cannot iterate in the Angular. You need array, right? So for that, what I will see, set number list. It will be array of number like this. And once we get the seed data, now after that, I will use for loop. As a basic for loop I'm using, okay? What I will use till the this dot city data dot max total seeds. Okay. So my for loop will iterate till I have what number of seeds, 20, 30. Then in this variable, I need to push the for loop. So this dot seed number list dot push only now. Yeah. From start to end, we need to do it. So index by default, we will start with 1 and here equal to symbol because we are starting with 1. Now in city list, we will have the array of what number seats we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this we can iterate. So where is the UI? Okay, now UI is like this. Because we need to have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 like that. How we will make this thing dynamic? One, two, then we need that in intermediate line, then again next set, then next row should come after that, right? So we need to divide. We got, let's say we got 40 or 30 seats. So we need to divide whatever the seats we have into 4 equal parts. Then we should be able to do this. I'm not sure if you are able to imagine that because the UI what I have created is like this. Again, I have used the ChatGPT also to create the UI. To make it simple, we can simply use row column also. In one row, we have 4 column. Na? So let me just remove this and I will go with very simple one. So here what I will do, dot row dot in one row we have 4 sets. So let's go with call 4. Now inside this call 4 we need to iterate. So this @ for seat number list and call 4 I will iterate. And what was that seat number you do like was button, na? So this button I will put it over here and this will be item instead of 1. Here we are going to get that value 1, 2, 3, 4 something. Let's save and check. Our UI will break now because we didn't follow what we designed. We didn't save our .ts. Let's save. Oh, okay, sorry. 3 we need to go to now. We need 4 rows, so we should go 3. Okay, so seat numbers are like this. Near about same, but that was more cleaner. But again, I need to write the logic to achieve that. Fine. So this is what seat number you have. Now, next thing, this is the, we search the travels, we load the result, then on click of it, we are in the booking page. Now, whatever the travels we selected, whatever the seat number they said they have, that seat number are over here. Now, we need to select the seat, how many seats I need, and we need to book the ticket. So for that, before booking, we just need to see what's the booking API look like. So this is the post bus booking. If you see, so this object is like single with multiple entity. So booking object is single, but how many passenger with how many seat number? Because see, UI is multiple seats you are going to select. Na? With each seat, a different passenger will be sitting. So that's why booking data is single. See, like booking ID, customer ID, one customer is booking, right? Booking date is also single. Schedule is also single, means which bus you are booking. But passengers are going to multiple. Each passenger is going to have the seat number. So this is single with multiple data. So this is the complex part again with this project. Okay. Now this kind of data we need to create. Now here we have two interfaces, one booking object. Let's create this, copy, paste. So see, once I pasted it, it has created two interfaces, one for the booking and one for the inner object, that is passenger object. Okay. Let's copy. Now instead of interface, we have to go with the class. Okay. Because we have to initialize it also. This we don't have to initialize, I think, because this we are not going to bind, but this we are going to bind to the UI. So instead of interface, we will go with class. Once we say class, it will ask us to initialize all the field also. Let's do it quickly. Constructor, long bracket. This dot passenger ID will be your what do we say, primary key. So it will initialize with 0. This dot booking ID. This will be also automatically created once you don't have to send it. Range is equal to by default what we said number now. So let's initialize with 0. Dot passenger name is equal to empty. This dot gender is equal to empty. Again, if you know the red bus or Abhi bus, like gender is also very important because the person, some seats might be already booked now. So we have, if the gender is ladies, we have to show like this seat is only reserved for the male, right? So when we work on an actual project, every field is very important. Okay. Now, so we created our object. Now, so first, this is going to be our booking interface. Now, let's close the remaining thing. We just need minimum component to be open. Okay. Now, but UI needs to be changed currently because this is considering static one. We don't need this. Here we need dynamic, means multiple passengers we are going to add. Let's say if I select 1, so first customer form should open. If I select second, one more form should open, dynamic form, because customers are going to be multiple, right? So this multiple passenger data we need to showcase. So how do I manage that? On click of it, we will add one passenger data into an array. Let's start. Let me just close this. We don't need right now this. So again, I will revise the logic, what I'm going to do, then only you will be able to understand. Once I click on it, I will create an array of passenger. Once I click on any button, I will create one passenger I will push one passenger object into that array. If I click second also, again, I will push. Okay. Means two passenger I selected. So two ways to insert the customer details should populate over here. Okay. So we have to create selected seat data, not data array, because we are going to have multiple. Okay. Now, what type of data we are going to store? This object only. So booking, bus booking passenger array is equal to empty. So we created an array of how many seats user has selected. Fine. So now over here, we don't need this fare and everything. Selected seat. Here we can just show how it was there in my project. Let me see the JavaScript code. I wanted to see how we were showing that. Okay, like that. So let's copy it. Okay. So instead of this, we have to iterate on this span tag. Let's use a for loop on selected seats. And this UI will be dynamic Or this will be there and inside that span only dynamic, no? So let's move this over here. Inside that we need a for loop and just span will be dynamic. Wait, what's the array? And like this. Okay. An item means nothing but our seat number. We will go step by step. So this part is just to show the how many seats user has booked. Okay. And one more check we can add. I will be using ng container over here. Ng container is kind of an imaginary div when we don't want to create an extra div, but you need to write some code. So this is like if this array is empty, star ng, or let's go with at the rate if only, at the rate if this array dot length is equal to 0, means if the length is 0, we need to show that p tag where we are showing that no set selected. And else to this at the rate else, we will render this div. Sorry, we don't need ng container also. I thought like I will use ng, but we don't use it. So see, if the array is empty, we are showing this p tag, no seat selected. If we select on particular seat, then our for loop will come. But now that seat selection we need to do first. So see, this is the for loop where we are plotting the seat. Now on click of it, we need to store the selected seat number into my array. So on select, and we will pass the item over here. Okay, let's create this function. See, one step by step we are going because this is complicated. So here we are going to get seat number, data type number, and that we need to push to this dot where it was selected seat array dot push or unshift, anything it will work, set number. Okay, let's see now. Why it is saying argument of, okay, it needs array of object because this we created as array of object and we are trying to push number into it. It won't happen. So now here we need to create a new object, new passenger data type. Here I'm creating a local variable, but for the local variable also I can provide the data type. So this is equal to this. See, the properties are coming now because I have provided the data type to the local variable also. Fine. Now here I just need to assign the seat number as seat number. Remaining field I will keep it as empty. Age 0 we need to give because we have provided the data type. Booking ID 0, gender empty, passenger ID again 0, passenger name empty. This should be colon. So what we did, we created a local object with the particular data type, and this object we can pass. So here just the seat number we are assigning. Okay, let's see now. So see, currently you can see node seat selected is coming. Once I select seat number 2, it's printing object. Now again our UI will change because here now we are getting the array of objects. So it's not item. So item dot seat number. See, able to see whatever the seats we selected that are coming over here. Okay, but now we know like which seats are selected. So this, if the seat is selected, this also should be in some another color, right? If you see that UI we closed, let me open it again. Once we select any particular seat, that should have some different background color, so that only we will know that this seat got selected. Let me run this. See, okay. So like this, we need to add. What's the color we are adding? Seat available and selected. Again, so many logic is there because if we open the particular seat, once we done the first booking, then again, if we open already booked seat should be disabled. Okay, so many things are there, but we are going line by line, one by one. First task is on the selection, we need to just highlight it. Okay, see the already booked seats are coming like that. I'm not able to select. Okay, you might have seen already booked seats, you cannot do something. Okay, so first this selected class, we need to add it dynamically. Where? Over here. So by default available is there. If we add a selected, so that will have the dynamic color. Now this is our static class. Now we need to add a dynamic class. Okay. So dynamic class, I will be using ng class because ng class is very mature in that case when we want to add a dynamic class. So ng class directive I have to use. Again, going back to the first point, whatever you want to use, you need to import it. If you are going to use ng class, import it. Now, so square bracket ng class, this is how we add a dynamic class. So if we need to check, this is like we are plotting the seat number. Now, whatever the seat number we are adding, we need to check if it is selected. So now here we need the function to check if the seat number is already selected. Okay. Or what we can do, here we are here we know the seat number, what seat I selected. Now let's create one more method. Check if seat is selected. And this function will have a parameter seat number. Now we need to check the selected array, like whatever the seat user has selected, whatever the current seat for loop in the for loop, is it present over there? If yes, we will return true, otherwise false. Okay. So that logic we are going to return. Constant check is equal to this dot selected seat array dot find index or find whatever you can use. M equal to M, sorry, find index, but directly we can pass the index seat number over here, but it will work or not. Find index will check whatever the selected seat array. It's an array of objects, so we cannot use find index. So we have to use find method only. Find method is to check particular element present on the array or not. M equal to M dot seat number equal to seat number. Whatever the seat number we got, that is already present in my booking array or not. So if check is equal to undefined, if we don't find it, means seat is not booked. So we will return false over here. But if we find check is not undefined, so we will return true over here, meaning seat is booked. Return true over here. So this function, if you pass a seat number, it will check like seat is selected or not. If seat is selected, it will return true, otherwise false. So this function we will call on the ng class. And we have to pass item over here, means seat number. So if it returns true, means it is, we are saying, means it is booked. Okay. So if it is booked, we need to add, what was that class? I think we copied from over here, no? Selected. So this class, we need to add it dynamically. So this, otherwise empty. Okay. So see now. Not sure like everyone is going to understand this in the first case. Just watch again, try how I'm doing it. Likewise, you need to do. So see, currently no seat selected is going on. Once I click on 3, see, it got highlighted. 4 got highlighted. So I'm able to see what seats I selected also. Okay. Now one more thing I have to do. Again, if I clicked on 4, see what happens. One more entry it is adding. It should not happen like that. So if I'm clicking, I need to check it also if that particular seat is already there or not. If it is there, I need to unselect it. Same thing happen in the red bus also. If you select a seat and again clicked on the same, you unselect that. Okay. So on click event means this event on select. Here you need to again change your logic. See, as I said, this is the most important and so many scenarios are there. While pushing the array, first you need to check if the seat is already there. If it is there, you need to remove that particular object from your array. So here we will check constant is exist. So this will open your idea like AI, yeah, it can do. But again, like whatever the scenario, see, every step we are adding some checks and everything. It can do, but again, you need to explain everything, all the scenarios also. And that you can understand if you have proper experience only, then only you will be able to imagine all this. Okay. Now, so from this array, we need to check if the element is already there with the particular seat number or not. So again, find m dot seat number is equal to seat number. So if we have particular seat number record already over here, now instead of find, now we will use find index because we need the index. Okay. If this is not equal to undefined, means we got the record, so we need to remove that. So to remove the particular element from the array, we use splice method. So here we got the index. Let's say is instead of is exist now is exist index. Let's change the variable. Dot splice method. The index we have to pass, and how many element? One element we need to remove. And in the else, we will have it. We will push the new record. If the record is not, if the particular seat number is not selected already, so we will select, we will push it. See now, while writing this logic, 3, no, something is breaking. Let's add a debugger. Where it is, book ticket. Let's try to write the logic. On click of 3, we got the seat number. Okay, now we use undefined. When we use find index now, if it find the record, it will get the particular value. Otherwise, it will be -1. In case of find, you get undefined. But in case of find index, if the record is not present over there, you will get -1. So we have to write the code with -1. Okay. So instead of this, -1. Not equal to -1. Correct. Now it should work properly. So if I click on 3, let's debug it also. 4. So currently in my array, I don't have any, currently array is empty only. Na? So we got -1. So if it is not -1, it will go to the else block. And here we are pushing an element. See, 4 got push. 3, 8. 3 sets I have selected. Let's say I unselect 4. So see now, 4 is there in my array. So see, I got the index 0. On the first, see, on the first element, we have the record of the set number 4. So I got the index. Now I'm removing it. See, getting it? One by one, we are completing it. Okay. Now we know how many sets we have selected. So like that, if 3 sets we have selected, so 3 times my for loop should iterate. Okay. So on this array, selected set array, we need to have our form. Now how much data we need? So we need passenger name, age, and the gender. So only 3 things we need to showcase in the form. Seat number is already present in our object. Okay. So let's create row, call 3. We will iterate this call 3 on the selected item. No, whole row we need to iterate. So first will be for, let's copy these 2 things. Why do we need that extra D? Call 3, call 3, call 3. Instead of call 3, let's do it 4, 4, 4. Okay. First will be like name, here age, and here gender. So instead of type email, we will use radio button, text. Here age is there, so let's go with number. So user will be only able to type number only. And radio button, to radio button. We don't need placeholder over here. Mail, email. Let's add value tag, mail, email, and both needs to be added to the same attribute, gender and gender. So see now, we are putting our row inside a for loop. So my for loop will be dynamic. See, We added a form controller name. We need to remove this on the radio button. So form control class, you cannot add it on the radio button and the checkbox. So my God, how many time I was on mute? Okay. Thank you, Sushil. So what I did, if I remove this, let me just undo this. Okay. So previously it was like that. So for all the dynamic element we had, it was having same name attribute. So if I'm changing anywhere, it was changing over here also. See, it was behaving randomly. So that's why we need to add dynamic name attribute. So now if I make it dynamic name, means each group will have something unique name. See now, let me show you index. See, what's the name over here? See the name, gender one. Okay, if I select the second one, first one, it will be gender zero, gender zero. So for each group, we have some different name now. So they will act individually. Okay, this we have done. Now we can hit this API. We have the data ready. Okay. Now we created we have created model of this also. So this model interface we need to create. Instead of interface now, let's create class only because we are going to initialize this. constructor this dot booking ID. We won't be able to do it because we didn't complete the login part. 0 this dot customer ID is equal to 0 dot booking date is equal to booking date empty only. This dot schedule ID is equal to 0 and this is the array, so we will initialize with empty array. Okay, now so we have to create instance of this booking object. Okay, so here we will create book ticket obj colon data type will be our booking model class we created is equal to new, like this. Okay, now in this booking object we have a schedule ID, like which bus you selected, we got schedule ID over here, so let's assign it also. Book ticket object dot schedule ID is equal to this schedule ID. Now we didn't completed that login part. So what I will do for now, again, like I need to complete that login and the registration, so I'm skipping that. What I will use, from the Swagger, I will create a passenger and then we will use that ID over here. So add new user. So from here, I'm creating my customer. But actually from here login, we got that model pop-up. So same thing in login and API integration, we need to do it from over here. But for now, I'm doing it from over here. Let's say username. Tara, just a name, something I'm giving, at the rate gmail.com. So this you will do from the sign up form. Okay. If I have the time, I will cover it in some days, or in the live version, you will be able to see it, but I'm not covering right now. Gmail.com, full name Tara, role, we don't have to send it. It will be automatically handled by the API. 223344. Fine. Remaining things also you don't need to send it. That's test endpoint. Okay, so user got created, but user ID we are not able to get it over here. So we need to check get all user API to check the updated user ID. Let's get it to the end. So see, so user ID is 8390. So once you log in, this is the object you are going to get, and this you will store into your session storage. Okay, so this ID I'm hard coding it right now. Instead of doing that login and reading the local storage data, this I am doing hard coding. Considering you have already created any one of the project, because in every project I have explained this login and the sign up process. So just use follow any video and any project video and do like that. Now this dot booking object dot customer ID, here you need to pass that. So if you implemented your login thing now, once you do the login, you will store the logged in data into your local storage. So here you will read the local storage data and you will assign the logged in customer ID, but that part I'm doing it hardcode. Okay. Now, so here we have the proceed to payment button, or we don't have payment. So let's say book ticket. And we just need to add a type button. Let's create API call function, click book ticket. Let's create this function. Now, again, we need to create the API call service. So let's go over here. What's the method we have? Post bus schedule. Let's get the API. So now we just need the method name, because a whole API we have already stored over here. Okay. Create new booking. So return this dot http dot post API call. Okay. Why post? If you check the Swagger, because we are passing the object. So post API, it is there. Post, then this dot API URL, then our method name, that is post schedule, and we need to pass the object. So from component, we are going to call this function. So from component, we are going to receive the object. Any, not any, no. This type of object we are going to get. So let's add a proper data type. Booking model we are going to get. And this object, we will pass it over here as a second parameter. Fine. So this is your API call function. Now this dot search service dot, didn't save it, create new booking, and here we need to pass the object. So this dot book ticket object we need to pass dot subscribe result colon any. Okay. Now here, once we created the booking object, what data we said? Customer ID and the schedule ID. But we need to assign the array of selected members also, passenger. So that we will do it over here. So this dot booking object dot booking passenger is equal to, where do we have the selected passenger data? Over here. Now let's add a debugger. And we will show the alert box like ticket got created. Ticket booked success. Let's save everything and let's text. If it is working fine, we will be able to book the ticket properly. Fine. 3 and 4. Let's say where we have this equal to coming from. Okay, let's remove this. Now, first passenger is going to be Rahul. Let's say 22 male. Second passenger, let's say Ankit, 34 age, gender male. Let's debug it now. On click of book now. If you see the array, first element, see the data which you entered over there is available over here with seat number 3, Rahul, Ankit. Okay. And if you check the booking ticket object, customer ID is there, schedule ID is also there. Oh my God, booking ID we forgot. Let's API will break. See, 400 we got. It will say like 1 hour validation error. Booking date we didn't send the booking date, so it has provided us the error. Booking date we will send the current date. Okay. So since we are initializing over here only, so let's go with over here. This dot book ticket object dot date is equal to new date. I'm initializing with current date. Okay. When we book this ticket, and data type was string, so that's why it is giving error. So let's make it date. And here also, here only we can do that then. It doesn't matter. In a single place, we will have it. Let's try it now. 3, 4. Chetan, 23. Male. Rahul. Male. On book ticket. So see, ticket booked successfully. Check the payload. This was the single detail, and in booking passenger, you can see how many passenger we selected. Okay, now if we check, so see the booking travels ID, travel schedule ID was 1174. Okay, so now so many APIs are there just to check the booking. Get all bus booking. This is vendor ID. Some API might be there. Let's check what this API does. This is not that API. I think I remember I have created one API, get bus schedule by bus ID, where we get all the booking received for that bus. Get bus schedule ID. So see, this is that API. Get booked seats. Okay. Now we booked for this particular bus, Chennai to Coimbatore 5 p.m. We booked 2 cities. Okay. Let's say if I open this page again, now this seat should be come pre-filled booked like we had in the UI. Where it is like this. So we have to call one more API to check like what many seats are. Sorry. Okay. So as I was saying, once I open this page, already booked seats also come should it should come like this, right? So for that we need to integrate one more API. So get book seats. So here we have to pass the schedule ID, whatever we have in the URL now. So this ID we need to pass to this API. So let's quickly create this. Then again, one flow is there. So because we need to disable the seat number, right? So this will be your get API. Return this dot http dot get dollar. We will have parameter schedule ID. Was this dot API URL. Then our URL. This will be our URL like this. Then this value you have to make it dynamic. Schedule ID will go over here. Let's add a data type number. Okay. Now this function we need to call on the page load, means on the page load of this, we are calling two things. First to get the bus detail and second is to get the book seats. So just like this, I'm copy pasting get booked seats and here get book seats. And it is going to be number array we are going to get. See the response type, what we are getting? That is number array only. How many seats are booked? 3 and 4 we selected, so that are coming. Here also we need to specify the return type, or let's go with any. I don't want to again increase the video length. But here you can say number of LE, and in the function also you need to give it. And here you need to create one more array. Booked seat list. Number array you are going to have. Okay, like this. Now on the page load, this function also we need to call with the schedule ID. Okay. So now on the page load, you have two API call going on, one to get the bus detail and one to check how many seats are booked. Now you got the detail like how many seats are booked, so that you can use it over here to disable that button. So see, here we have this button. Let's get it in one line. So this is your button where you are showing button number, and once you select the selected. But if here we need to write again if logic, and here we will create one more function just like this to check the seat is selected or not. Check if booked. Okay. Here we will again write the same logic. Here we were checking in the selected seat. Now here we have to write the booked seat list. It's going to be array of numbers. So we have parameter over here. Let's add a number. Sorry. And this function we are going to call on this if condition with the seat number, that is item. So if this function return true, if we got find we are using so undefined. If we get it undefined means that seat is not booked. So if it is equal to undefined means we have to show this button. Else if it is booked, we got true. So we have to show the booked button. Let's copy the UI from it. Let's copy the HTML seat and the booked class. Again, we can manage on the same button also, but again, like multiple classes we need to add. Instead of that, let's have a separate logic. Here we have to show the item. Now, user won't be able to do anything on this button. Let's save and check. No, something is wrong. All books, all are disabled. Let's check what is going wrong. First, let's check the API call. Yeah, we got 3 and 4. We are getting yeah, array only, no? Let me debug that function, what we write. Let's reload one more time. This dot book seat 3 and 4 we got. Okay, so seat number 1, book dot seat number 1, we are checking. Currently it is undefined. If it is undefined, we are making it false. 1, 2, 3. So 3 number is already there. So we are returning true. If it is booked, we are returning true. Okay. So if it is returning true, sorry, what we return, if it finds, if it is undefined, we are making false, means you can book it, right? Same thing we have written. Oh, not undefined, not directly true, false. So you don't need to compare it. Directly you are getting true and false from over here. Why we are returning undefined? But vice versa. See, 3 and 4 got enabled, remaining got disabled. So this, you can add not over here. So see now, 3 and 4 are coming disabled. Now you can book the remaining. Okay. So this is the whole flow. Only thing we left is the login process, because that hard code thing we did over here. Where we did that? Yeah. Instead of hard coding this, you should have got that ID from your local storage once you do the API integration of the login. So this is the whole process of the login and the bus booking. Same thing happens in Red Bus, your Paytm bus booking, your Abhi Bus. Obviously, as I said, that's a product, so it has so many scenarios. But this is the basic flow. Okay. Same kind of flow you get to have in train booking also. In train booking, you don't get the bus like this UI. You just select the number of passenger. That seat allocation gets automatically happen. In my API, with my API also, that seat allocation get automatically. Okay. How it might be working in the IRCTC. Okay. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Please do like and subscribe. If you are new, please do join my WhatsApp group, which you will find it in the description.